everybody! Welcome to day 117 of Level Grinding the Daily Hustle. I am Rachel Bastarash-Bogan, and I want to thank you all for coming back to my channel and for watching my videos every single day. You guys are awesome. I am floored that you guys are interested in what I have to say, so thank you so much. And if you are a new subscriber, go ahead and click subscribe. You're going to get all kinds of stuff and see how I am hustling every single day to build my business, and also hear how I apply the 12-week year to my life. So this morning I have jumped already into my work. It is actually close to lunch, so let's get an update as to what I've been working on. It is 11:35-ish. I am currently in the middle of my work block 2. Soon up is lunch, and so far I have gotten my leads emailed, which is really great, and I am in the process of getting ready to review Screenlight. So what's really actually been taking most of my morning? Well, trying to figure out my flights for NAB. There's actually some questions that I have. I've got to do a couple of things. Some are going to be on Frontier, one is going to be on Spirit Airlines, and there's a whole question as to what bags. And there's a couple of reasons why the bags are becoming important. So if you fly on really cheap airlines like I like to do, adding on a carry-on bag, a checked bag, all of that stuff is an extra fee. I don't mind. I can totally pack for a week, believe it or not, in a single carry-on, which I'm really proud of. But there's a couple things that I want to bring to NAB. Number one, I want to bring a box of my editing books. And so those are going to probably have to go in a carry-on. And then the other thing that I really want to bring is my roller skates. Yes, people, I want to bring my roller skates to Vegas. So I have some ideas about how to do that, but here's the other thing. I'm planning an additional leg on that trip to go to California. Part of the reason for that is I have a friend out there. She's been dying to get me out there for a while. My mentor is also out there, so I'd love to schedule a meeting with him in person. It's a lot better to talk to your mentor when you're actually in person rather than on the phone. And I also have a couple of potential clients out there, so if I can tie that into as a business trip, that would be great. But I also want to have my skates for LA. So there's a lot of jumping around that I need to do, a bunch of hoops that I need to figure out so I can get all those things to NAB and to Los Angeles and then back home again. So yeah, I've been trying to figure out those flights, and my husband's actually calling me, which will be helpful because he's also going to LA at that same time. Okay. All right. I love you. Bye. All right. So off the phone, we have a bag plan. There's a couple things that need to get figured out in terms of like spacing and what's coming and who's going to pack in what, but I think we're going to be able to do it. So I'm going to hold off on purchasing my flights until later. Thankfully, it's Tuesday. If flights are going to go up on Wednesday, which tends to be kind of typical, I should still be able to get the prices that I want, which is great. So yeah, we are going to be good to go, and I really honestly think bringing the skates is going to work. So because I still have about 20 minutes before lunch, actually no, it's not 20 minutes, I think it's closer to almost an hour at this point, I am going to review Screenlight, get this at least just to the point of knowing where do I need to leave this. That way I can send it back to my editor on Friday, which would be really nice. And then I'm going to jump into all the writing that I need to do for me, because I have a blog post I need to write and a newsletter. Well, this is definitely one of the more shorter blog posts that I've written in recent months. 788 is a really nice word count for a blog post. Often mine run well over the 1,000-word mark, so I'm happy to send something that's a little bit shorter off to Screenlight. Something I do as a part of my reviewing is to always read something out loud. Reading something out loud is a great way to catch grammar errors or to figure out pacing and content and just the way that it takes to read things. So yeah, it's always helpful. Surprisingly though, this actually read pretty good this first time that I did it. Apparently I was on a roll when I was writing this last week, so that's fantastic. I'm going to let this sit one more day before sending it off to Screenlight. Yeah, it's nice to have this in a state where I don't really have to do a whole lot of work on it. So it is 12:05. I am actually getting kind of hungry, so I'm going to quit right now for this particular work block, go grab something to eat, and then pick my work up probably a little bit earlier after lunch, just because I'm working faster. Here's my lunch, and with it I'm also going to feed my brain with the magic of thinking big. I just bought this book and I'm really excited. I've been wanting to read it for a really long time, so hooray. And I thought it was interesting about chapter 2, Cure Yourself of Excuse-itis, the Failure Disease. This kind of reminds me a little bit of what I was talking about in my walk talk on Instagram stories today. Which, speaking of, if you didn't see it, head on over to Instagram, instagram.com/RachelFinder. If you are on your computer or on your smartphone, just search Rachel Finder. Same name as what I am here on YouTube. And you'll be able to see that story. It's all about the difference between go-getters and complainers. Oh, progress on my newsletter. You know, even with having an idea as to what I'm going to write about, having a brief outline, sometimes it's a real pain in the butt just to generate content. I have probably gone through 3 different approaches, that's what I'm looking for, approaches to this particular newsletter. And I think I finally have it. I'll know when I read this tomorrow and see what didn't make sense and why it didn't work. But anyway, I have something down on paper. I'm very happy about it. Today I was working on a blog post, not a blog post, this newsletter. And because it's March, St. Patrick's Day is coming up, so I really wanted it to theme around the concept of luck. And as I was doing this, it reminded me of some of the things that I've been thinking about lately and about the concept of luck. I believe very strongly that luck is kind of a misnomer. There's really no such thing as luck, and this doesn't have anything to do with my faith tradition or religiosity. I just believe that luck is something that a lot of people wait for when it's not something that you can actually bank your life on. It's not happenstance. It doesn't magically happen. If you want to go anywhere in your life, luck happens when you prepare for it, when you have opportunity for it, and when you put in the hard work. A person that doesn't put in the work is definitely going to go absolutely nowhere. It's a foregone conclusion because they're not doing anything. The person that is going to do something, that does something for it every single day, is the guy that's going to get the lucky break because he was working for it. So this is something I like to remind people of, and it seemed like a really good theme to kind of go with in my newsletter. And so I'm kind of reminding you of it right now. Remember, it's not luck that gets you forward in your life. It's your own actions. And the more actions you take, the luckier you're going to seem because you're going to be prepared for things. Your opportunities are going to come your way. This is how I'm going to Las Vegas. Speaking of Las Vegas, I have a conversation with a friend of mine here in about an hour about that same topic and that same opportunity. So I'm going to be doing that in a bit. In the meantime, I need to take the dog out and I need to get started on my blog post. More writing. Yes, people, it is 9:30. 9:30. What have I been up to? Well, for the past probably hour and a half, I have been trying to get my airfare to Las Vegas squared away. From Las Vegas to then California, and then from California back to Denver. And my normal airline that I fly on is Frontier Airlines. A lot of people give them a bad rep because of how they do things. Like you buy your flight, but then you have to add on a carry-on and add on a check bag. That's usually not a big deal for me, but for some reason tonight, oh my gosh. Like I said, an hour and a half trying to book these flights because things kept going wrong and it kept kicking me out. So I'm really tired and annoyed. But in terms of how my day came out, let's take a look at what my to-do list ended up looking like by the end of the day. I was able to get all my leads emailed. I have Renegade's newsletter drafted. I started a blog. I had my call with Patrick. This is regarding the thing that I have in Las Vegas in the middle of February. And I got Screenlight reviewed. So overall, I got a lot of the things done today that I wanted to. I didn't get to my wonder work, but that's okay. And here's the reason why I'm trying to get to bed soon is because I have an 8 o'clock in the morning appointment. Oh gosh, I'm tired. Usually with most of my clients, I'm able to keep appointments not too early in the morning for me. The problem with some of them, like Drew, is that they're on the East Coast and they're on East Coast time. So if they need to get things done early in the morning, that just pushes me back. Thankfully, it's not at 6 o'clock in the morning. That was Drew's other available time slot for me. So that would have been 8 o'clock for him. Thankfully, he's willing. He's willing to do it at 10. And so that gives me 8 o'clock. And for the most part, I'm usually functioning at 8 o'clock. So tomorrow's going to be a big day. Got that meeting with Drew and then a lot of the rest of the stuff. That way I can be all set for my chunk of my morning on Thursday to be out in my schedule. So this is the end of today's video. I will see you all tomorrow. If you liked this, give me a like. If you have a question or a comment or just want to say hi, leave those in the comments below. And if you've not yet clicked subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you all tomorrow. Ciao.